Alright boys, welcome back to another video. Knicks Daily here. Today we're going to be discussing a potential Jaren Jackson Jr. trade. I'm going to give you my honest thoughts. I actually did spend some time working for the Grizzlies, so I got to know Jaren pretty well. I think he's a great player. I think him and Cat would be insane. I'd even go as far as saying that if the Knicks made this happen, they'd be the best team in the East. Probably the best team in the NBA. Because defensively, he would fix all of our issues. All of a sudden, well, Cat isn't a liability because you got Tripp. He would protect Brunson as well. You'd have OG, you'd have Josh Hart. The defense would be light years better. And offensively, Jaren could shoot the ball. He could put it on the floor. He can go to the basket. He makes his free throws. He's just not a 1A or even a 1B type of a guy. I think he's like the third best player on a championship team, which he would be. Brunson, Cat, and Tripp. The issue is that the Knicks already don't have enough draft capital as it is. We've got, of course, the Wizards protected pick, which is top 8. That's not going to convey. And then swaps down the line. The Knicks can do about 3 of those. Those are our assets. Mikal Bridges would be in this trade. The Grizzlies do have interest in him, and they've already put out a trade request before he was a Knick when he was with the Nets, where they offered 4 first-round picks. And they just got a bunch of draft capital as well. So it doesn't make sense for them to keep Tripp. It really doesn't make sense for them to keep Ja. I mean, to be honest, they should probably just blow it up. I think the Grizzlies are kind of in a bad position. I don't think they'll trade Ja. But in terms of the Knicks, they have interest in Jaren Jackson Jr. They've had interest in him for a while now. Since the Grizzlies have interest in Mikal, it makes sense to swap them. And then the Knicks would also add on to that. The issue is that a potential offer that was thrown around was Mitchell Robinson, Tyler Kolek, and Mikal Bridges. That is a lot to give up. The one thing that I will say is that Mitch is on the last year of his contract, but a healthy Mitchell Robinson, Mikal Bridges, and Kolek, I think that's worth more than Jaren Jackson Jr. I mean, how much better is Tripp than Triple J, if we're being completely honest? Like, he's definitely a better player because he's got more of an overall offensive game. I mean, he averaged over 22 a game, guys. He's really good. But defensively, Mitch might be the best center in basketball. So if you just run Mitch and Cat, I think that is a championship level backcourt. Like, I really do. Or it'd be front court, sorry, not backcourt. Front court's the guard. So I think that would be a championship level front court. And then you look at the backcourt, of course, you've got Brunson, you've got Mikal, and then like Hart, and then we're talking about the wings at that point. So I just don't really think that the Knicks should be doing too much. This does seem like too much, if I'm being honest. You're 2 games away from the NBA Finals. You were up 9 points with a minute remaining. You blew that. You were up, 17 points in the 4th quarter. And then now all of a sudden, here goes Mikal, who you just got. Here goes Mitch, who legitimately was an elite center in the playoffs. Like, Mitch's impact was offensive rebounding, his rim protection, his ability to switch everything. Guards struggled to score on Mitch. That is not normal for a 7-footer to be able to defend like that. I would not do this. If you do end up, for some reason, being able to move Mikal and whatever picks the Knicks can, and like Tyler Kolek for Jaren Jackson Jr., I would do that in the blink of an eye. Like, I wouldn't even hesitate. I wouldn't even care if we had Tripp, Mitch, and Cat. As long as we can move Mikal for like a player that I just think would be way better for the team. But the Grizzlies are not going to do that. Like, let's just be honest. They're not trading who's been their best player, arguably, the last 2 seasons for Mikal Bridges. Like, it's just not going to happen. They offered 4 picks for Mikal, so they didn't have to give up a player like Jaren Jackson Jr. So as interesting as this sounds, it's just not very realistic. But it does make sense because there's mutual interest on both sides, and the Knicks did interview, or they're going to interview. I haven't really looked into it, but I know that there was a report that came out that the Knicks were interviewing Taylor Jenkins. I actually do like Taylor Jenkins a lot. He's only 39, so he's young. I mean, Tibbs is in his mid-60s, so he's significantly younger. I think he'll relate more to the players and the development, just getting the younger guys in. I mean, of course, Jenkins coached a young Grizzlies team last year, the entire year, so he knows all about that. He also coached a rookie, Dante DiVincenzo, who was with us last year. And despite him being buried at the end of the bench, they still watched a lot of film together and got to know each other. I think the best case scenario for the Knicks, honestly, to this point, would be to bring in Taylor Jenkins, to somehow bring back Dante DiVincenzo. If they can finesse Jaren Jackson Jr. from the Grizzlies, then go ahead and do it. I don't think they'll be able to. But in terms of Kolek, Bridges, Mitch, and a couple of picks for Jaren Jackson Jr., I don't think that's worth it. Tripp, he's not a go-to or even like a second go-to guy. He's just a great defender who can score. But we saw exactly my point against the Thunder. What did he do? In the closeout game, goes out there, he's 3 of 12, of course, from the field, and he ended up having, what was it, 12 points? The game before that, 7 of 16, 22 and 7. He's not even rebounding. I mean, you'd have to go like literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The last 10 games, he didn't even grab double digits in rebounds. There's a spider crawling on me. Come on, man. But yeah, I mean, we're talking about guys literally. I mean, how far do you have to go back to see Tripp grab 10 boards? I mean, he averages under 6 a game. At his size, about 6'10", that's inexcusable. Again, I legitimately can make a strong argument that Mitchell Robinson, when healthy, will make more of an impact and dominate a game more than Tripp. The only thing is that Mitch is conditioning, is he can't really stay out there for long durations, can't make free throws, but he sets good screens, he rebounds, and he just dominated. He dominated, of course, against the Pacers to the point, even the Pistons. I mean, guys, we're talking about the Celtics too. All three teams had to intentionally foul Mitch to get him out of the game. And I know a lot of people thought it was corny, but Mitch actually made a good point saying that he knows he's a great player if they're trying to get him out of the game. And how hard is it going to be this offseason for him to work on his free throws? I actually saw Mitch working on his free throws, and I think he was like 55 of, or no, I think he was 65 of 100, which doesn't seem like much, but I mean, at the same time, if Mitch can shoot 65 of 100 from the free throw line, he's an elite center. Like, he legitimately is that good in that game breaking. And he also just protects Cat is the biggest thing. I don't think the Knicks are going to be able to win a championship with Cat and Brunson unless they bring in like a Jason Kidd or a big-time coach that's going to be able to build a connection with these guys. I just don't think defensively that's ever going to work. The Pacers, much love to them. They're in the finals. They're 2-2 right now. They're tied. The Pacers are good, but I mean, again, they're not like a great like team. I'm just being honest with you. I know I sound salty, but they're not a great team in the sense that it's not like they have this unstoppable like Celtics type of team last season that just breezed through the playoffs. Of course, you look at like the Warriors a couple of years ago when they had KD. They're not like that type of team. So, I mean, that's my point, is that the Knicks defense wasn't able to stop the Pacers. The Celtics even went up 20 plus in 5 of those 6 games. So that's kind of the issue, guys, right now, is that defensively the Knicks were great when they had one of the two in Cat and Brunson off the floor. When they had both of them on, they were terrible. So all of a sudden, I mean, how do you fix that? They did go to Mitch in the starting lineup, but it didn't work, is the thing. So the new coach, he's going to have to come in. He's going to have to be a genius and come up with something. That's why I was saying, hey, look, let's flip Cat for Durant. And nobody agreed, which I expected. But if the Knicks had KD instead of Cat, defensively, they'd be much better. And offensively, it actually wouldn't be worse because Durant's a 50, 40, 90 guy on 26 plus points per game. But the Knicks already came out recently and said they're not in on Durant, despite Durant saying that if the Knicks did want him, he'd have them at the top of his list.